Hey everybody, hope you are good. My name is Emma, and it is lovely to see you here for this 20-minute flow. We've got full body release, so any little part of you that's feeling a bit tense today, that's feeling a little bit of a niggle, we're just going to stretch that out, find a bit more softness, and work it through. As always, take variations, ease off, adjust if you need, and grab any props you might want to use, whether it is a block, a strap, maybe you want to have some water nearby, a cushion, anything that you normally use or that you just fancy using today, maybe it's first time, feel free. You can absolutely do all of these things without any props at all. So see how you go, but pop your music on when you're ready. And we're going to start actually in kneeling today. So when you're ready, finding a comfy position. And if you find in kneeling it's a little bit too much on your knees or on your ankles, you can pop a little cushion underneath you, or maybe sort of double over your mat if you need, and make it a little bit more comfy. We're going to stay here just for a couple of deep breaths. So start to settle into where we're at. Maybe we've just finished a workout, we've rushed in from a busy day, or just woken up, we're starting to feel our way around the room. Just take a few moments to settle. So closing your eyes, hands maybe in your lap or by your sides, wherever feels comfortable for your shoulders. And just start to take those lovely long breaths in, really feeling your chest lift, your tummy expand. And slow, steady exhale, feeling everything settle back down. Taking a few of those, just starting to see where you're at right now. And gently finding your way into a rhythm, something you can pretty much stick to with your breathing for the next 20 minutes. So we're not saying that it's going to be perfectly, timed breaths or anything like that. But we just want to have that bit more awareness, bring the focus in, bring that sense of calm. And we can really use our breathing to get us there. So lovely long deep breaths. Slow breath out. Feeling your shoulders soften. Taking one more breath as you are. And then just start to give your shoulders a bit of a roll forwards and backwards, going in both directions. Gently opening your eyes if they're not already. And just take a moment here before we start to move to notice just what that little bit of time dedicated to those slow breaths helps you feel like. So what do you feel like now that you didn't maybe just a couple of moments ago? So if ever you need to take 30 seconds or even less to take a breath, let this be your reminder that you can absolutely do that. Okay, let's get to moving. We're going to move into a high kneeling position. So again, feel free to double over your mats, pop a cushion under your knees if you need to, and you can have your toes tucked behind you or untucked. See how those ankles are doing right now. We're just going to take our arms up, interlacing your fingers, really stretch your palms all the way to the top, big reach. Maybe you want to look up towards your fingers too. And then start to lean your arms over to the left and really reaching away from your hips and sending your hips out the other side. So you've got this bit of a curve down through our bodies. Gently come back through to the middle and then over the other way. So we're leaning over to the right, stretching over our waist, our ribs. Gently moving back to the middle, taking our hands behind us now, interlacing our fingers, rolling our shoulders once more as we lift our chest, lift our gaze. And then release. Give your shoulders a wiggle. Okay. From here, starting with your left leg, we're going to take it out towards the side of us. And then repeating similar to what we just did. So taking our arms up to the top and starting to reach over towards that ankle. I mean, not the whole way, obviously, but we're sending our arms in the opposite direction to the right side of our hips. So getting that deeper stretch. Hopefully now a little bit further down and then all the way back through to the middle. Bringing your fingertips down in front. Let's lower our hips down towards our heel. Maybe you only go halfway. We're trying to get a nice stretch down through the inside of our thighs, and maybe even to the back of your hamstring. Maybe you go all the way down to your heel and sort of sit there for a moment, slowly coming back up. We're going to take that 2 more times. So working a little bit on this ankle mobility and into our hips as well. Fingertips reaching forwards. Send your hips back. We've got this little lean with our chest. Slowly bring yourself back and then all the way back to the top. Last time, hips shifting away from you and then back to the top. Okay, right hand down now onto your mat. Lifting with your left arm, big reach, all the way towards the front or maybe the back of your mat. Hands coming down, sending ourselves into a high plank. So hands on the mat, taking them shoulder width apart, heels pressing back behind you, lowering down our knees, toes on tuck, chest coming all the way down, and then a big roll as we lift up into our cobra. Chest opening, seeing where we can take our arms to. How much room do we have in front of us today? Press your hands into the mat, start to look over your right shoulder. And then turning back to the front, looking over the left. Back to the front, pressing through our hands and our knees, moving back into our kneeling position. Give your arms a little bit of a shake. Repeating that on the other side. So we're starting by stepping our right leg out. Okay, hands reaching to the top. Same as before, just starting to lean over towards our ankle. We've got this big lift, big stretch down our left side waist. And then coming back to the front, fingertips reaching forwards as we shift our hips back. Start to lower your hips down, maybe again halfway or maybe the whole way down to your mat, coming all the way back to the top. Squeezing your glutes forward as you come up, slowly lowering down. And back up. How are those hips doing? Last time, moving down, reaching back, and release to the top. Left hand down to our mat now as your right arm reaches all the way forwards, moving into a circle, hands on your mat, and then into our high plank. We're stepping those left toes back behind us, lowering your knees down, toes on tuck, chest all the way onto the mat. Big roll of your shoulders, breathing in, lift your chest. Same as before, starting to gaze over your left shoulder, back to the front and then over the right. Okay, back to the front, this time pressing ourselves back into a downward dog. So tucking your toes, press through your hands, lifting up our hips, pedaling out your feet side to side, moving a little bit, have a wiggle, have a play. See how your calves, your ankles, how are they feeling, how are they doing? Coming to still, lifting our right toes all the way off the ground. Seeing just how high we can get those right toes right now. So where we feel a stretch down through the back of our left leg. Right leg now coming forwards. See if we can plant our feet in the middle of our hands. Take a few steps if you need. Left knee lowers down, keeping our toes tucked behind us. Breathing in as we reach our arms up. We're going to hold on to our left wrist with the right hand. Start to guide your body over the top of the right waist. Coming back to the top, fingertips reach, and from here pressing down through those left toes. So we're going to lift our knee off the ground, strong through our feet, holding here, deep breath. Bringing your hands down towards your chest. Our left elbow is going to hook to the outside of our thigh. So pressing our hands together, finding this little twist, not little twist, actually it's got a big twist, isn't it? Pressing to find this twist, opening up. From here, keeping our left arm as it is, see if we can lift our right fingertips all the way to the top. And then bringing your left hand down inside your toes, taking yourself onto the outside edge of each foot. So for now, lifting through your chest and seeing if we can get this space. We're just pivoting to the outside of our feet. Sending your right hand behind you. Let's lower our hips a little bit down. Might feel a little bit sticky. Take a deep breath. Where can you melt into as you exhale? Moving back to the front, hands onto your mat. Stepping our way into our downward dog and straight away lifting up the left leg, reaching high. Again, find that stretch, see where you're at. Bending your knee, bring it all the way forwards, foot plants down in between our hands, right knee lowers, our toes staying tucked again this side. As we breathe in, lifting our arms. And we're trying to squeeze our glutes to send our hips forwards. We've got this lovely, lovely stretch through the front of our hips. Holding on to this right wrist, let's lean over the top of our left side hip, waist. Stretching down this right side. Coming back to the top. And then pressing into your toes to lift your knee up into our high lunge. Softening your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Can we exhale and go a little bit lower? Hands now down to our chest. Moving into our twist. Our right elbow hooking onto the outside of our thigh as we turn to the side. Really trying to anchor down through our feet. When you're ready, your left arm reaching up, fingertips towards the top. And then right hand coming down onto your mat. We're doing the same thing this side, just starting out with a pivot in onto the outsides of our feet, And then see if you can take your fingertips back behind you. Maybe your hips settle a little bit further down, or they may stay exactly as they are. Breathing here, come back to that rhythm. Moving back to the front, hands on our mat. Stepping into our downward dog, have a wiggle out. Roll your shoulders. Looking up towards your hands, taking little steps all the way forwards, feet coming to the front of your mat. As you breathe in, lifting halfway, shoulders roll. Exhale, folding down. Nice big stretch through our hamstrings. One more of those, breathing in. All the way out. On our next breath in, we're going to sweep our arms all the way to the top, bending through your knees, reaching high, and then bringing your hands down behind you. Big roll of our shoulders as we lift through our chest. On your exhale, fold forwards, hinging at our hips, chest leading us all the way down. Maybe get some clicks and clunks through your back as you fold a little bit further. Letting go of your hands, fingertips sweeping down. And as we lift ourselves up, transitioning the weight over to our left leg, right foot peels off the mat. We're going to bring our right ankle straight away in front of our left thigh, so just above our knees. Fingertips reaching forwards as we send our hips back and hopefully feeling a nice stretch through these glutes, through the outside of our thighs. We're trying to send our hips as far back as we can. Really reach your fingertips forwards. Length up our backs. Starting to come back to standing, keeping our right leg lifted. And then we're just going to take this right foot and plant it about a hip distance, maybe a little bit bigger behind our left foot. Toes still pointing forwards. Starting to bend through this right knee as we lift our toes at the front off, fingertips coming down towards our mat. And then leaning everything forwards. So left toes coming down, right heel coming off. And really trying to send our chest down towards our toes to get this nice stretch through the back of our left leg. Slowly coming back. So we're going to rock forward and backwards a couple times. But on the flat foot behind us, left toes lifted. All the way forwards. All the way back. Bending through our right leg. Can we go a little bit deeper? Back to the front, up on our toes behind us. This time, fingertips staying down. Let's step ourselves into a high plank. Deep breath in at the top. Exhale, knees lowering down, toes untucked, chest onto your mat. Rolling your shoulders as you breathe in to lift up into your cobra again. Breathing out, toes tuck, lifting into our downward dogs. Okay, bringing your left foot all the way forwards. Right foot follows. Coming up into those halfway lifts, breathing in. Exhale, come down. One more inhale to come up. Exhale to lower. Next breath in, big roll all the way up, slight bend in our knees, reaching high, this time into a little bit of a back bend, so fingertips and hands joining at the top. We're gazing up towards our ceiling, squeezing through our glutes, and then see if you can take your chest a little bit back. Gently coming back to the top. Give your shoulders a nice roll, take a little wiggle out. From here, moving into our balance. So our weight going into this right leg. Same thing as we did before, coming back into that figure of four shape. Our left knee lifting, ankle crossing in front of our right thigh, fingertips reaching forwards as we shift our hips backwards. So just like in those horizon stretches where we're kind of going to the side, letting our hips drop, we're probably going to feel a bit of an imbalance through these ones. We often have one side of our hips that just works a little bit differently. Maybe there's a muscle on one side that's a bit tighter. Maybe our bones are just different. That is completely normal. No one is perfectly symmetrical. Starting to come back up to standing, our knees lifting, toes staying off the mat, and then stepping back behind us into this pyramid pose again. Starting to lean your way forwards as you bend through your left knee, right toes lift off. Coming into those rocks here, so toes down at the front, heel off at the back. Really send your chest down to your mat. All the way back. Heel lands, toes lift at the front. All the way forwards. One more time coming back. Last time to the front. Weight in the front of our foot. Fingertips coming down, stepping our way back through to our high plank. And this time into our downward dog straight away. Have a wiggle out with your legs. Shoulders roll. Maybe just hold a little bit deeper through one side. Find that deep stretch down towards your ankles. Switching over. Starting to walk your toes towards your hands. We're going to take our feet to about mat width apart. Toes pointing out towards the edges of your mat. And then into our squat. So fingertips staying down at the front. Let your hips sink low. Hands down on the ground. We're just going to try and lift through our chest and lengthen through our back. So even with our hands down in front of us, we're not kind of curling forwards and letting all of our weight just sink toward the front. We've still got this openness as much as we can through our chest. Try and lift up through the crown of your head. Hands now pressing into our mats. We're going to see if we can just send our legs back. Bringing your knees onto the ground. And then taking your knees a little bit wider here and our toes in line with our knees behind us. Walking your hands back. Where can we take our bottoms to? Maybe you're able to sit on the inside of your ankles. If this is absolutely too much, please, please, please come back through to this position up to kneeling, or onto all fours even, and then wiggle yourself around to find a comfy position. So it might be a bit too much for your ankles. You may want to tuck your toes. If it's too much for your hips, maybe just don't come that full way down. Just going to take a moment here. You can start to lean forwards, or if you wish, you can start to lean all the way up. Some people are going to have tension one way and not the other. Some people, not too much. Maybe you can take yourself all the way back so you're resting on your forearms, chest lifting. Wherever you are, deep breath. Gently bringing ourselves back up to seating from whichever way we were. We're going to wiggle ourselves around to bring our feet in front of us. So however you need to get there, does not have to be perfectly graceful. Soles of our feet touching in front. Wiggling our bottoms so they come a little bit closer towards our heels, but not so close that it's uncomfortable. You'll see that my knees absolutely do not touch the floor. That is fine. We're good. I'm still finding this stretch. I'm still working into it the same way that anyone else would, whether your knees are up by your chest or, I can't demonstrate, but one side of me can, on the mat. Hands going around your toes. Deep breath in as you lift through your chest. Exhale, see if we can fold our way forwards. Stretching through the insides of our thighs. One more deep breath, big roll up. Exhale, sink forward, space down our backs, into our legs. Gently bring yourself back up through seated. Now you can stay as you are with your legs. If this is not feeling comfy, please bring your knees together. We're just going to lower ourselves down onto our mat. So I'm going to keep my feet together and keep my knees in this diamond shape. Bringing our hands behind us, slowly rolling your back onto your mat, however you want to come down, wherever you feel comfortable, arms and hands in the best position for you. Maybe that's on your tummy, your chest, maybe it's just down by your sides. Close your eyes here just for a couple of deep breaths. Just let gravity do its thing. And if you want to stay here, please, please do. Ignore me, put me on pause, whatever you want. Everyone that is ready to move up to seated, bring your knees together if they're apart, squeeze them in towards you, give yourself a lovely big cuddle, very well deserved. And slowly lifting yourself up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks or feels like for you right now. Keeping your eyes closed or a soft gaze. Let your hands come into your lap or down by your sides. Shoulders roll, crown of your head lifting tall. Give yourself a very, very big well done. Big smile to finish up. Thank you so, so much for doing that. I hope you feel good. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're up to next. And I will see you very soon. If you have any feedback at all, do let me know. Bye-bye.